There is a sacred mystery woven deep into the soul of the divine feminine. It is not loud, not always visible, and certainly not always understood, even by herself. This mystery holds a silent ache, a powerful and quiet longing for her masculine counterpart, a yearning not born out of weakness or dependency, but out of an ancient recognition. It is a memory etched into her spiritual DNA, a knowing that she is part of something much greater than herself, something that only completes when soul meets soul in the sacred flame of union. And yet, despite this depth of knowing, despite the burning intensity of her love, the divine feminine often hides her longing. She veils it beneath strength, tucks it under layers of independence, guards it behind the illusion of indifference. But why? What lies beneath this concealment? Why does the feminine, in all her intuitive wisdom, spiritual depth, and unconditional love, choose to hide the very truth of her heart? To understand this, we must first explore the sacred essence of the divine feminine herself, her inner world, her emotional intelligence, her cyclical nature, and her path of spiritual remembrance. Only then can we truly grasp why she chooses silence when her soul aches to speak, and why her heart often whispers instead of roars. The divine feminine is profoundly sensitive, not just emotionally, but spiritually. She feels everything in layers, in ripples, in waves that touch her deeply. When she encounters her twin flame, the mirror of her soul, that sensitivity is magnified. The connection stirs every hidden wound, every forgotten dream, every ancient memory of love, loss, union, and separation. She doesn't just feel love, she becomes it. Her longing is not surface-level desire. It is the full-body, soul-deep call that echoes through lifetimes. It is overwhelming, often too vast to explain in words. She senses his essence in dreams, in songs, in the quiet moments when the world is still. She feels his presence even when he's not physically there. But this kind of longing, raw and vulnerable, can feel unsafe to express, because to admit it is to open herself completely. And to open herself completely means to surrender control, to risk being misunderstood, rejected, or even abandoned. In a world that often associates longing with weakness, she learns to protect herself. She wraps her vulnerability in layers of strength. She wears her independence like armor, not because she doesn't feel, but because she feels so much. Her strength is not the absence of emotion, but the careful management of it. Her longing is not gone. It's simply held in sacred stillness. When she hides her longing, she's not being dishonest. She's preserving the sanctity of her inner world. She knows this connection is unlike anything else, and she also knows that not everyone can understand the depth of what she feels, not even her twin, especially if he is not yet awakened to the same depth. So she waits. She nurtures her heart in silence. She allows the longing to alchemize within her, not because she is afraid to love, but because her love is too sacred to be thrown into the winds of uncertainty. She protects it the way a mother protects an unborn child, quietly, fiercely, and with faith. The divine feminine carries many lifetimes within her energy body. Her soul remembers the betrayals, the silences, the abandonments that have left their mark on her heart. She has been misunderstood before, punished for her emotions, told that her love was too much or not enough. These soul-level wounds don't just disappear. They live beneath the surface, shaping her fears and her choices in this lifetime. When she meets her twin flame, something ancient awakens in her. She feels the remembrance of every lifetime they have shared, and along with it, the pain of past separations. It is not uncommon for the feminine to experience an initial wave of intense love followed by deep fear. Fear that she will be left again, that she will give everything and be abandoned, that history will repeat itself. This fear often leads to emotional restraint. She may become guarded, reserved, even distant. She wants to be seen, but she also wants to be safe. She longs to pour her heart out, but the memory of past heartbreak holds her back. Even in moments when the masculine is loving and open, she may find herself hesitating. She might test him, push him away gently, or retreat into herself. Not because she doesn't love him, but because her soul is protecting itself from reliving old wounds. The feminine's journey is one of healing those ancient scars. She is learning to open without fear, to love without condition, to trust without needing guarantees. But this is a process, a sacred unfolding. And while she walks this path, she often hides her deepest desires, not out of pride, but out of self-preservation. Understanding this can bring great compassion to her silence. Her restraint is not rejection. Her hesitation is not a lack of love. It is simply a pause, a moment of stillness while she navigates the labyrinth of her inner world. One of the most profound reasons the divine feminine hides her longing is because she is being called into inner union. The twin flame journey is not solely about reunion with another. It is primarily about the sacred marriage within. Before she can fully merge with her twin in the outer world, she must first harmonize her own inner masculine and feminine energies. The feminine, in her awakened form, is not seeking completion through another. She is remembering that she is whole. Her longing is not just for him, it is a longing to reunite with her own inner power, strength, and divine truth. When she hides her longing for the masculine, it is often because she is being called to turn inward, to embrace the sacred masculine within her, the part of her that provides structure, focus, and direction. She begins to embody both softness and strength, intuition and clarity, receptivity and action. In doing so, she transcends dependency and steps into sovereignty. This inner union transforms her longing. What once felt like an ache becomes a source of creation. She begins to channel her love into her purpose, her art, her community. She becomes a living embodiment of love, no longer chasing it, but radiating it. It's not that she no longer desires her twin flame, she absolutely does. But the nature of that desire changes. It becomes less about needing him to fulfill her and more about desiring to share her wholeness with him. This shift is powerful. It's what allows her to hold space for the connection without losing herself in it. So she hides her longing, not because it has disappeared, but because it has matured. It has become sacred. It is no longer a cry for rescue. It is a prayer of devotion. She loves without possession, desires without desperation, and waits without fear. Twin flames are bound by an energetic dance. This dance is sacred, subtle, and constantly shifting. The more one flame chases, the more the other retreats. The more one gives, the more the other withdraws, not out of cruelty, but because their energies are reflecting each other, seeking balance and equilibrium. The divine feminine, in her wisdom, comes to understand this. She learns that if she constantly expresses her longing, constantly reaches out, constantly lays her heart bare, she may unintentionally unbalance the dynamic. Her masculine counterpart, especially if he is still healing, may feel overwhelmed, confused, or unable to reciprocate at the same level. So she steps back. She honors the flow of energy. She chooses stillness not as a form of manipulation, but as an act of sacred respect for the dance. She knows that sometimes silence is louder than words, and stillness more powerful than pursuit. This is not a passive withdrawal. It is an intentional grounding. She learns to regulate her energy, to hold her center, to remain open without clinging. She becomes the calm in the storm, the steady flame that burns without flickering. In doing so, she allows the masculine to find his own rhythm, his own clarity, his own way back to her. She hides her longing because she understands the delicate timing of this journey. She knows that every expression, every movement, every word has a ripple effect. And she chooses to be deliberate, not impulsive, to act from soul, not ego. This balance of energy is what allows the twin flame connection to grow in a healthy and sustainable way. It's not about withholding love, it's about offering it from a place of inner alignment. The feminine, in hiding her longing, is often creating space for the masculine to rise. And that, in itself, is an act of deep and powerful love. As the divine feminine moves through her spiritual awakening, she begins to see that her journey is much bigger than she once thought. What once felt like a simple longing for a romantic connection reveals itself as something deeper, a call from her soul. This call is not just about being with her twin flame. It is about becoming who she truly is. Her desire for union is deeply connected to her soul's mission on this earth, a mission that involves love, healing, service, and creation. The more she awakens, the more she feels this inner pull. It draws her toward something sacred, a purpose that has always lived inside her. She begins to understand that her connection with the masculine is not here to distract her from her path. It is here to awaken her to it. Her longing becomes fuel, pushing her to grow, to rise, and to become a light in the world. Instead of waiting for him to come to her, she begins walking her own path, with clarity, devotion, and trust. This is the moment she shifts from waiting to living. She stops looking at what she doesn't have and starts offering what she does. Her energy becomes less about wanting and more about giving, not in a way that depletes her, but in a way that fills her with life. She begins to create, not just in physical ways, but energetically. Her heart becomes a channel for love, for truth, for beauty. She may begin new projects, explore her creativity, offer her gifts to others, or simply become a peaceful, radiant presence wherever she goes. She doesn't run from her longing. She honors it. But instead of letting it consume her, she transforms it into something higher. This transformation is quiet but powerful. It doesn't mean she no longer feels or cares. It means she now carries her love with purpose. Her love becomes a sacred offering, not a personal craving. She holds space for her twin without needing to control or define the outcome. In this space, she begins to feel peace, even when the connection is uncertain. At this stage, she often hides her longing more than ever. But this hiding is not the same as before. It's not born of fear or pain. It is born of maturity. She is now led by a different kind of fire. Her love no longer needs validation or permission. It simply exists, constant and real, glowing quietly inside her. Others begin to sense her light, even if they don't understand where it comes from. Her presence becomes healing. And this is also when the masculine feels her most, when she no longer sends out waves of need, but stands grounded in love. He may not understand it fully, but something in him is moved. He begins to feel drawn to her energy, not because she is chasing him, but because she is embodying the very essence of what his soul seeks. Her hiding in this phase is not withdrawal, it is transformation. Her longing becomes light, her ache becomes strength, her silence becomes power. She has found her purpose, and through it, she shines with a love that touches everything. At the end of all the searching, all the waiting, and all the inner work, the divine feminine always returns to her heart. This return is not dramatic or loud. It is gentle, soft, and filled with deep truth. She hides her longing not because she is afraid to love, but because her love has become so deep, so pure, that she no longer needs to express it in obvious ways. She understands that real love moves quietly. It does not demand. It trusts. She no longer sees longing as something to fight or be ashamed of. She sees it as a sacred thread that connects her to something divine. Her love for the masculine is no longer about having him by her side. It is about honoring the soul bond that exists between them, a bond that does not break, even in silence, even across distance. She has learned that love is not always about words or actions. Sometimes, love is the quiet space she holds in her heart. It is the patience she keeps when things feel uncertain. It is the silent prayer she sends out, not with expectation, but with faith. Her longing becomes a soft glow, not a burning fire. It warms her, but no longer consumes her. If you are the divine feminine walking this path, you might feel alone at times. You might wonder if your love is seen, if your presence is felt. But know this: your energy is working in ways that are invisible to the eye, yet deeply known to the soul. You are planting seeds every time you choose love over fear. You are tending to the sacred garden of your connection, even in moments of silence. You are not invisible. You are not forgotten. You are growing into your full power. Your longing is not wasted. It is preparing the way. You are not just waiting for a reunion. You are becoming someone who can hold that reunion with grace and wisdom. You are becoming the mirror through which the masculine sees his own heart. And if you are the masculine, wondering where she has gone, she is closer than you think. Her soul is always with you, even if her words are quiet. Her silence is not distance, it is presence in a deeper form. She is aligning with herself, and in doing so, she is aligning with you. The twin flame journey is not a straight road. It twists, it pauses, it transforms. But every step, every silence, every longing carries purpose. Love is not lost, it is only changing shape. So return to your own heart. Whether you are the feminine or the masculine, know that love is still alive. It is breathing inside you, and what is meant to be will always rise, not through force, but through faith. In time, the divine feminine will no longer need to hide her longing because it will no longer be longing. It will be presence. She will stand beside her masculine, not in hope, but in truth. And together, they will ignite the flame that was always waiting to be born, the flame of sacred union, of shared purpose, and of eternal love.